Hi, I'm Bill Lancaster, and I'm going to be your host for this video on gilding the lily, or how to put gold leaf on a wooden bowl. So the bowl I'm going to be using is this. It's a bowl I'm making for a friend who has a bathtub. Looks a lot like this. It's a big open bathtub with a wooden, well, it's not really a wooden side, but it has that color. And the inside is white, and as you walk toward it, you see the white interior, and then as you get even closer, well, there's a problem right there. I was going to put clear epoxy in the bottom. I cut the bottom out, and then I used the epoxy that I used was old, and it would not cure. It would not set. And I left it for a couple of weeks, and it still wouldn't set, and I just had to finally give up on it and take it out, and so I cut it out with a thin parting tool and using denatured alcohol, which is your real friend when getting this old epoxy out. So I used denatured alcohol and some tools to get the old epoxy out. So now I made a nice cedar bottom to go in it, and the cedar bottom was just gorgeous in itself, but I had wanted to put gilding on it, so this is the finished product. Has gold leaf on it, and so that's going to go in the bottom of this bowl like that. And so it's going to look like this. As you walk toward it, you're going to see the gilding. Now, how did I get there? Well, that's a good question. I like to use the vacuum chuck as much as I can, and I'll turn the vacuum on. So I coated this the cedar with an adhesive that's applied with the gold leaf. So I coated it and let it dry for almost an hour, and then I came back and I applied the gold leaf to it. The gold leaf that I'm using is a champagne gold. It's not the kind of raw gold. It's a champagne gold. You see that color? I'll show you the other gold color you can get. This is a kind of a yellow gold, and you see how much yellower that is than the champagne gold. So I like the champagne gold better, and so that's what I've used. As you saw, this the gold leaf is extremely fragile. It blows around, and it's like ashes. And so you have a special brush, a very soft brush you use to brush it out with. You'll see me use that. And you use a adhesive that's applied. Well, you can get it separate, or in my case, I got it supplied with the gold leaf. And so I put the adhesive on here, let it dry for about an hour. Then I put the gold leaf on it. The adhesive is the determining factor here. So wherever the adhesive is, you'll get gold leaf. If you don't have adhesive there, you won't get gold leaf. So make sure that you put the adhesive everywhere you want gold leaf. So I put it around the edge here because I want the gold leaf on the edge. And so I put it right around the edge of this bottom piece because that's where I wanted it. And it didn't care too much about the back, it didn't matter. But I wanted it on the edge and all across the center. So where I put the adhesive, that's where I'm going to end up getting the gold leaf. And you'll see how it is applied as I do it. So I'm going to go to the application. Okay, now I realized in the too late that you might not be able to actually see the vacuum chuck in the first video, first half. So I've got the camera exposed a little differently this time, and maybe you can see it. I'm going to turn on the vacuum chuck now and place the bottom right there. You see what I've coated it with the sticky stuff, and now I'm going to apply the foil to it. As I've said, if you have the type with the paper on the back, it's a lot easier. And so I've got the paper here And I'm going to apply this stuff and then brush it out with a special brush that they create just for this kind of thing. It's a very, very soft brush. Now let me try to get this thing. This stuff is so fragile. Oops, it came off. Well, I'll try anyway. You see how it's tearing on me? Here's my brush. The brush will actually take the excess foil right off. It'll just tear it right off. So where you do not have the sticky stuff, the brush will just rip the foil right off. Now, there's one sheet of it. Let's rotate it and do another one. That's kind of a crazy angle. Let's get another sheet here. Maybe I can handle this better. There, that's better. You'll find, as I'm finding here, that you're going to put a lot of little tiny pieces of gold leaf on here to cover the spots. Now you see that stuff flaking off. It's flaking off because that's where the foil is not adhering. So it's just going to flake off those little pieces, and those little pieces is fine. They're not on top of any kind of sticky stuff, so it's going to come off. So fine. Now let's put some more on here. Oops, blew off a chunk of it there. Okay. The Chinese have produced this material. They do such a good job. Honestly, they must have the patience of Job to do it, because it's all very, very fine and very thin. Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to rip that piece off and put it there. Rip that piece off and put it here. It's so fragile, it just tears. I just need to cover the all the spots. And I need one, here's a piece right here. So move it up there. And one more piece maybe. Right there. Well, it's not really there yet. I've got to do some edges. If you just be patient with this stuff. As I said, it's like ashes. It's just so thin. Now I'm going to blow this, or brush the stuff off rather, and try to get it. It will stick where you've got the sticky stuff, and it will not stick other places. So it's going to flake off on all those places where I don't have sticky stuff, and that's fine. You want it to flake off. Now I'm going to turn the lathe on here and kind of I've got a couple of edges that I need to fix. When I finish with this, I've got a water-based varnish to apply to the top of it, which will keep it from Keep from tarnishing. Will preserve it. Keep from getting too scratched or tarnished. You can do this off the lathe. This doesn't really, the lathe is helpful, but I don't think it's the only thing you can do here. You can do this off the lathe just fine. I like to do it on the lathe because it's just handy. That's my timer going off. And let me just stop it. I had the timer on it to make sure that the sticky stuff was dry enough. Now I've got a few spots I'd like to cover. So I'm going to take another torn piece of it and use a few pieces of it to cover. The edge. I want it all the edge to be covered. So there's sticky stuff there. I'm calling it sticky stuff. It's really adhesive. I'm looking at this very edge right there to try to make sure I've covered all of it. So I want it to be covered when it goes on the bottom. And you see how fragile this stuff is. Good heavens. It's really, really fragile. Now, I'm going to try to press that down and flake off the excess. I probably should turn on the vacuum system to get this stuff out of the air, but I'll clean it up. Okay, here we go. You see how fragile it is? This is a very, very soft brush. It doesn't matter how soft it is. It's just really, I mean, it does matter. But it's so soft that it's just taking off the little extra excesses. And this is not real gold, as you know. It's a kind of a fake foil, but I'm going to get this stuff all smoothed out, and I may just leave it here for a while to get it where I want it. It just has to be so. I'm running the lathe at 60 RPM, very, very slow. I'm going to turn it the other direction now. See if I can get this stuff off. There's a little spot that I can't quite explain. I think it may be just a wrinkle in the, or a joint in the gilding. Now I'm going to just I'm going to turn on the dust collection for just a second. You see how very fine it is, and that's pretty good. It's getting pretty smooth. Little flecks of it still coming off. Now there's no sticky stuff on the back, so I hope that stuff is just going to peel right off. Reverse it. I'm really not worried about it flaking off where there's no glue, because the glue will really stick it on there. So I'm not worried about it any other place. And I think we're getting good there. Look at all that fine stuff. Wherever you've got the sticky adhesive, it's going to stay there. You don't have to worry about it coming off there. And if it did, you just put some more back on it. Okay, let's see how we're doing. I think we're just about there. I'm going to stop this lathe and just look at it. Now, I'm going to let you see the kind of finished how it's going to look when I get it all finished. It's going to be on the bottom of the bowl. So get the bowl over here. I think the grain of this bottom should be opposite the grain of the bowl, so that if the bottom expands, it won't split the bowl. Now I'm going to take this thing off. And put it right in the bottom, so you can see the effect of it. You see that? So you can, as you walk toward the bowl, you'll see this white, and then gradually you're going to see the inside. So that's how you gild the lily. I'll glue that with CA glue in the bottom. It'll be very secure, and then first I'm going to coat the gilding with the varnish they supply to go with it. Then I'll probably spray the whole thing with a little lacquer. Okay, that's it. Hope you got something out of this and enjoyed the video, and I hope this video comes out all right. So that'll be all for now, and bye until next time.